let's see here. He has kind of like a curled horn kind of thing rather than just kind of straight coming off. He has more of like a very dark brown, almost black kind of fur. He's very tall, so he's a bit over 7 feet. He's also quite heavy, almost 340 pounds. So he's kind of a big guy. He can be a bit taciturn at times, but really he has good motives for the most part. Oh, I suppose. So he's also a warden, so he's a defender. And he's wearing hide armor, pretty obvious, as well as just kind of has a heavy shield and warhammer that he's very familiar with.
So yeah, you see these three figures stepping out of the mayor's house that seem rather odd, given the general populace you've noticed so far. Like, most people are in common clothes, cottons, and, wool kind of fabrics. And then you see, like, 3 heavily armed men stepping out of the mayor's house.
Well, given the circumstances, I'm not surprised that they would be bringing in some, unusual help.
And as mentioned, one of them is a von Hasselhoff, whom, of course, you know.
Just deeper pockets to pick.
Yep. So the same thing goes to the other party. As you guys are leaving to head towards the Callop house, you step out and you see a man in... Like,
stealth check.
What was that?
Stealth check.
Yeah. You see a man, and then he's gone. Whoa!
Smoke bomb!
But yeah, he's in leathers, and he definitely seems out of place with what you've seen of this town so far.
I assume he doesn't just look like a trapper or a hunter or something?
I don't think so.
Not really, no.
Okay, well,
does he stick out from the rest of the town denizens?
Oh, yeah.
Suspect. Does he have a pedo stash?
Negative.
Well, you know what? We know where Jamara is. She ain't going anywhere. Let's investigate this capable-looking man that doesn't look like a farmer. So I will walk over to him. And as I approach, Dragonborn and Minotaur in tow, I will extend a hand and say, Thaddeus von Hasselhoff, if you didn't already know.
I just kind of quirk a brow, looking relatively unimpressed, and offer a hand.
I roll my
Dominic
eyes.
B. Reese. I knew you were a Hasselhoff of some sort, but what your name is, I don't really care.
Yeah, people oftentimes get me confused with my brother, so I appreciate your honesty. Reese, as it was, I believe.
That's what you can call me, yes.
What brings you to the village? You clearly don't belong here.
Neither do you. I'm not sure you've got any right to ask me that question.
Oh. Well, that is where you are wrong, sir. I have been commissioned by Avandra to investigate a matter in this town. And when looking for origins on suspicious activity, You often must interrogate suspicious people. You don't look like you're from around here. How long have you been in town?
A few hours.
And if you have no ill intent or any devious plans, you wouldn't mind if I asked what your intent in a village like this for? I mean, certainly you could buy any necessary goods in a bigger city market. What brings you to a small town like this?
Perhaps it was on the way. I'm here to repay a debt. You need to know nothing more than that.
A debt? You seem like a capable fellow. Might be I could help you with that debt.
I doubt it.
Sir, I am a von Hasselhoff. If I can do one thing, it's get you out of debt.
Unfortunately, it's something that your kind wouldn't know anything about. And money can't get you out of it.
At this point, I raise an eyebrow, and I look down at my hands, and then I look over my shoulder at the Dragonborn and the Minotaur. Now, from what I can tell, good sir, your kind is my kind.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, you people.
I highly doubt that.
Oh, I see what this is. This is a class issue. I assure you, Reese, I have no ill intent in the matter, and I apologize for any crassness on my part. We were sent to investigate an issue of missing children in the town, and frankly, after speaking with the mayor, which was like talking to a wall, I have no leads. So the only thing I can go on is suspicious going-ons in the town, and you certainly are not someone who lives in this town. So I was just curious as to your purposes and intent, as I very much want to find these children.
Well, I am actually looking for a friend of mine who has also recently lost a child.
What's his name? As
My
we were
friend's
about to
name is
investigate a house. Oh.
Lyndon Hollowell.
Lyndon Howell. We only asked the mayor about the most recent kidnapping, so that must not be the most recent. We were about to investigate Dramara Calipers. Dramara Calip. But do you know where this Lyndon fellow is?
Supposedly he and his wife are out looking for their child.
Yeah,
I actually pipe up at that and say, I've heard that numerous townfolk have gone missing while looking out for their own children who have gone missing beforehand.
Yes, I
Do
mean,
you have any
naturally,
idea in which way he may have headed off?
No, the mayor was about as useful in answering my questions as I'm sure as he was answering yours.
Yes, he was quite the insightful fellow.
Well, it's not like they had Twitter or anything back then. Totes going to find child. Leaving south end of town. WTF, can't find him.
Twitter would make these kind of quests pointless, though, because the villain would inevitably be dumb enough to tweet, "Totally just stole some kids from this dumbass village, lol."
Just, I mean, the concept of a child vanishing in broad daylight with no witnesses to me is baffling. But that, regardless, I will inform Reese that we were about to investigate and speak with Dramara Cowlett because that was the most recent kidnapping. I wanted to speak to her husband, because he's the husband, which means he probably knows everything, being the man of the house. But unfortunately, he's gone out and in search of his boy, like your Lyndon. So we were going to speak to her as she is supposedly still in the town.
Good luck with that.
Alright. So at this point, I kind of raise my hand up and kind of pinch my goatee between my thumb and my pointer finger and kind of stroke it thoughtfully. I go, we could merge. We seem to have similar goals. You have a debt to pay. We have a quest to fulfill. And you seem like a capable guy, And our odds of success are much larger if we work together. Not to mention, I'm a von Hasselhoff, so this could lead to favors down the road. I mean, if let's say you're halfway on your debt and you need the other half covered, we might be able to work something out. I know a lot of the right people in Brighton.
So I assume along the road he probably didn't shut up about his family? About being
no.
von Hasselhoff?
He probably complained about his father and his brother a lot, and then he probably told a bunch of stories from the war, and then he probably talked about a lot of the stuff that he owned in Brighton, and then he probably lamented over the fact that he had no money.
Well, see, having a continental breakfast every morning probably didn't help your money situation.
Actually, it helps a lot because it's free.
Even if he doesn't stay at the inn, apparently it is free. He has worked out some ways to get it.
Oh, he doesn't necessarily stay at the inn. He's just kind of a remarkable kind of guy, People, he walks in and sits down to eat breakfast, and people don't ask questions. He's a von Hasselhoff, You don't want to rub a von Hasselhoff the wrong way. They're like sharks.
So yes, I guess it would be a safe assumption that he has not shut up about being Van Hasselhoff, Yorick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Yorick's going to tell him that no one cares about his family right now, and focus needs to be on the kids. And if this gentleman Reese that we just met is looking for them, yes, it would be a good idea to kind of merge our interests, as long as he shuts up about his family. York's annoyed by the whole family reference.
I will excuse my associate. He was talking out of turn. Forgive his man. But he does have somewhat of a point in his own misguided logic. We are here for the children, and we could use your skills and talents.
You don't even know what my skills and talents are. That being said,
but you have that. You have that joie de vivre. There's something about you.
If our goals are the same, then that's fine. Just don't get in my way.
York will just say, just ignore his prattling and we'll get along fine.
Reese, I would never get in your way, sir. I will only show you the way.
Good luck with that.
I'm sorry. There's gonna be a lot more of this. I hope you guys get ready.
Oh, I know. Just setting up for later on.
Oh yeah, especially things.
When you
recent.
get
It's
start
only
getting
gonna get
slapped
worse
upside the head every time you mention your family, you'll be ready for it.
Just wait till he gets to level 5. Think about how pompous he'll be then.
The simple solution is just to cut his tongue out.
Good point.
Yeah, then he'd cut down trees worth of notes. Hey, I'm about Alzala. Have you heard of my family? He's sitting there with a scribe. Right.
No, I think by level 5 he would just hire a scribe to follow him around.
Yep.
Oh, trust me. Once I have enough money, I'm gonna have a guy that not only announces where I go every time, but he has doves that fly out of his coat.
So you're just going to hire a bard with prestidigitation, basically?
Yeah, that way he can, kind of list off my deeds to everyone in my general proximity. Every time I enter a room.
But it seems like you guys have agreed to work together?
Hopefully, Mike's being a pain in the ass.
Tentatively.
Yeah, it's weird how the guy with 6 charisma is not exactly the most friendly person or amicable.
Yeah.
Standoffish, especially to people that just walk across a marketplace and be like, "Hey, you look
You
weird."
look shifty.
Yeah.
Did you steal any kids?
That's just, that's nobility, We don't
hey,
understand. There's
You want to
certain
work together?
Oh, so you're not the guy kidnapping children? Work for us.
To be fair, at first I interrogated you. Then I tried to recruit you.
At least you didn't try to do it both at the same time.
Yeah. Well, your story checks out. All right. With this new formed band of, I don't want to say merry men because it's far from that, but this new formed band, are you guys going to head towards the Callop household?
I'll just follow wherever Thaddeus goes.
If Lyndon is out searching for his kids, then assumedly he's not in the town.
Lyndon's
Did,
not the Callop guy though. That was
Right. That was the guy that
someone
Reese
else.
was trying to meet up with.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
bringing that up with Reese, I will then ask him if he had any indication of where Lyndon might be looking for these children, as that may be a better lead.
Well, I did do some poking around in their house, and I've managed to come up with this leaf flower thing.
Upon seeing the leaf, I want to see if Yorick knows anything about it. So,
Well, did you keep both the flower and the leaf parts?
Well, I would assume the leaf parts would, look like the leaf, would they not?
Yeah, they would look like the rest of the flower, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I did collect them, so yeah, I'd have them, but
Okay.
I would just show the leaf.
So just because I don't think Yorick was in here, he pulls out this black 7-leaved flower that has a red center.
Alright. So, 26 nature?
You know everything about this. The flower that
It's
he's
definitely
holding,
a leaf.
the flower that he's holding is called the night veil flower. It's one that grows in swamps and bogs. The night veils are often sought out to be turned into poison. This flower is well past its prime for it to be turned into poison. And you also remember that night veils are also quite common in the Shadowfell.
Fuck.
So when Yorick sees the flower, he's like, I've seen this before, and he'll relay that information.
Well, not only did I find this stashed in one of their horticulture books, there was also particles of it that were in the bed of the child that has gone missing.
Are the particles the same substance?
They appear to be.
Well, that's not good.
So my guess was whoever is abducting these children are somehow using this plant. Now, I had no idea what it was beforehand. So if there's something in, the poison that these flowers produce, then that could help in abducting a child, then that would make sense.
Could I roll a history check or something to see if, like, I've heard tales of something like this happening, like people using this to put kids to sleep or people to sleep before moving them or something like that?
Yeah. I can also tell, because Jork got a 26 on his nature, the poison that the Night Veils make do not knock you out, they kill you.
Ah, okay. So he would have told us that.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
is there any specific, like, orders or people of the Shadowfell that use this as a decoration or something? Like, is it a sign of some group within the Shadowfell? Like, could I?
Yeah,
test
you can make
for
a
that or
history
something?
check, yeah.
Okay. Just let me double check what my history is.
Your history is...
+3.
Yep.
The amazing +3. Which actually got a 19, so it is the amazing +3.
Nothing is coming to your mind. Like, you have no memories of any group or cult or anything like that that has ties to the Shadowfell that use this flower. You do remember many stories about this flower's like the poison made from this flower being used to kill people, but like no ties to the Shadowfell.
Okay.
It could just be that we're dealing with some kind. I mean, if Jork is saying that this plant is indigenous of the Shadowfell,
As well as swamps and bogs.
yeah, exactly, then we are dealing with a denizen of that region who simply.
Or just possibly something that has either bought this or gone through a swamp.
Well, you said it was native to swamps and bogs as well, right?
Correct.
I did notice that there was a book open on the table in Lyndon's home that references strange things in the Harrowsdale bog. Given
I
the
get the
connection,
knowing smile, and I start tweaking my mustache. Starting to come together, boys.
Do we know if the Harrowsdale bog is nearby the town?
I think it was a few miles out or something like that. And I think
Yeah,
that's it.
it's about 10 miles out, so like a couple hours walk in the Maple Crest forest.
Before,
Well,
I'm just thinking before we determine that this may be our best course of action, maybe we should go speak to whoever it was that you guys were supposed to be going to see. And
tomorrow.
maybe we can get access to the child's room and see if the same particles are in that child's bed.
that's
Was she
exactly what I was
abducted at
thinking.
night? Do you know?
Did we know that?
You were told that he had been abducted last night.
Okay.
Yeah, he said it was last night was when it happened.
Right.
So
Well,
it's
let's
not-
go check that first, just to make sure that there is a connection between children before we go gallop.
Yeah, if anything,
gonna
that'll
sit-
be a fresher trail.
Well, I'm gonna suggest to you guys that you check that out. There's I want to check out the the most recent day abduction location, because it could possibly be that something's grabbing them at night, and then the same thing's not doing it during the day. If it's something actually from the Shadowfell, I don't know. Maybe it only works at night.
Okay. So you're gonna
I'm
have
just
to
gonna relay that to the group that I just want to check out the most recent day location of an abduction.
We didn't ask him that though. I just asked him what the most recent kidnapping was, and he just told us.
Like, I'm gonna go back and ask him. That's what I'm saying. So you guys can go check out the other one. I'll actually say I'll meet you at the well when I'm done.
Yeah, since York doesn't care for Thaddeus right now, he'll join Rogar.
Oh man, Reese is stuck with a rich guy.
Humans be like.
So once I know Yorick's gonna come with me, I'll just ask if there's anything else anyone wants to discuss before we part ways for a while.
Just in case I haven't, I guess I didn't really show them the particles of the, what we're assuming anyway is the Night Veil flower. I will show, I guess I'll show everybody since we're there, just to say that, you know, this is what I found on the bed. So if you go to the day location, this is the thing you're looking for if, you know, we're trying to connect.
Well, I assume by particles you mean like there's a few different pieces. If that's true,
Flex, I'd assume it's kind of like tea, right? Like a loose leaf kind of thing.
That would have been a way better way for me to describe that.
In that case, I'll ask if I could take a bit of it while we go to check, so we can make sure that if we find something, it is the correct substance.
Sure, I've seen it enough that I'd be able to spot it again, I'm sure.
Yeah, so the poison from this flower, does it need a lot of, I guess, work to be transformed to the poison, converted into that, or is it more like a poisonous flower?
The flower itself is somewhat poisonous, but to make the poison that is used, it's kind of weird. First of all, it can only be done at night. And it requires a little bit of, like, you have to use a pestle and mortar to grind it up, and then you have to use this special, almost like tea, to boil it in, and then you strain out the leaves, and the liquid that is made from this tea, and it normally makes about 2 batches. Like, you have to use a very fine amount of water and some other ingredients, and it makes about two uses of this poison, and it is rather fatal.
So I guess York, before they leave, he's just going to kind of say, like, oh, as an aside, I wouldn't touch that with your bare hands.
Touching it with the bare hands, not a problem. Especially with it being daytime and being as dried up as it is, right now, like, you couldn't even make the poison from the flower that he has. And you know that as long as it's not, like, the normal steps are not taken, then the most you might get is, like, a stomach cramp or whatnot. It seems like to make it like the deadly poison, you have to go through the specific process.
Yeah. Plus, I got
I think still gonna tell them that.
and I'm pretty hardy.
They won't know any better.
Well, I assume I also have scale gauntlets from my armor as well. Would I?
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, my hands are already pretty much protected. So I'll just nod at that, and I'll actually store it in my belt pouch. And then I'll nod to the group and start heading back to the mayor's manor with the Minotaur, I think it was.
Yep.
With me.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I can just picture York going, "Don't you put it in your mouth." I guess only Mike would get that, unless you guys have seen those commercials.
Nope.
It's
these, some Canadian thing?
Yeah, these commercials about not putting, like, poisons and whatnot, like, as a kid. It's a bunch of Muppets, first of all. Let's get that out of the way. It's a bunch of Muppets singing the song about not putting stuff you find all over the house into your mouth, like pills or Drano and whatnot, and there's a song that goes with it, and, like, at one point you got, like, singing fruits and vegetables, and it's quite hilarious.
And this was all like in a 30-second advertisement.
I'd say it's about a minute, like, PSA kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
Canada had a lot of PSAs. But we'll start with the non-humans, because, I mean, like, the mayor's house is pretty much just behind them, as the humans start heading towards the Callop house. So you guys walk up and you knock again, and Duncan opens up the door and kind of beckons you in and goes, "What may I help you with?"
I'll just say may have encountered possibly a lead.
His eyes, go bright
to
at
make
this.
sure that we're on the right track. Do you know the location that the last child was taken during the day?
He says, "Not the exact location, but where the rough whereabouts, yes. Malsera Oliver was her name. 10-year-old girl, hair color flaxen. Very, very nice little girl. She went missing 4 days ago."
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask for her parents' house, and if they've actually gone looking for her as well.
He says, "No, they have stayed in town. They own one of the larger farms and plots of land within Maple Crest, so as much as they wish they could search for them, their attention must be focused on the crops."
Okay, well, I'll nod at this understandingly, and I'll actually open my belt pouch, take out a bit of the I think it was like tea leaves, basically.
Yeah.
And spread it out on my hand and ask him if he's seen anything like this, or what was the fucking flower's name? Or has heard of the Night Vale flower, or knows of anyone in town who grows them, perhaps, or gathers them.
He seems to ponder this for some time and says, "No, I honestly can't think of anyone that would grow this flower. I have never heard of it, mind you. So, I can only guess, but he thinks, he says, the only person in town that it deals with flowers as opposed to like normal farm crops is Maryland Drath."
Okay, well,
she...
Oh, sorry, is he still speaking?
Yeah, I was just typing.
Okay.
And she owns a flower shop not far from here, actually. And he tells you it's, like, out where... I'm looking at my map. It would actually be almost across the street.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll ask him if she's an apothecary or if she simply sells flowers.
I don't know if I would consider her an apothecary. While she does have a little knowledge of medicinal uses for flowers, I would say she is more of a florist or horticulturist than anything. However,
Okay,
you cannot learn about flowers without delving into some of their other uses. So it is quite possible.
Okay. Well, I'll thank him for the information, and I forget, he gave me the information on the Oliver family's house and the Oliver girls' last known location, didn't he?
Yep, they are
Okay.
the farm here above 13.
Yep.
And she was actually playing in her fields when she went missing. The harvest month was last month, so this month, almost farmers, all they're doing is tilling the land, tilling the soil, getting ready for like the coming winter, and also to get a little bit of work done for the next year.
So there wouldn't have been like a large field of crops for her to be crouched in, and then she just disappears. It would have been a fairly open field.
Fairly open. I mean, they tend to deal in apples, so I mean the trees themselves would still be there, but I guess orchard.
I was thinking
would be
more like a wheat field or something.
No, I guess I should have said it was an orchard.
Well, I'll thank him for his help, and I'll put the substance away back in my pouch, and tell him that we'll report back if we find anything. And I'll ask Yorick if he wants to head to the apothecary Drath, or if he wants to go check out the field first.
Yorick says that he's more interested in the field. He doesn't think the apothecary is going to know anything more about the flower than what he does.
Someone thinks highly of themselves.
Well, he knew how it grows. He knew everything about it. So around the flower, yeah.
Plus, she's not a full-blown apothecary, so she's probably more general flowers, less, oh yeah, this poison, I know about this. I wrote a book on this thing. But, yeah, if he says that, I'll nod in agreement and bid the mayor good day, and we'll head over there.
And you guys were heading to the
field.
The field.
Well, we'll go to the house first and then check out the field.
Okay.
Just because we don't want to stomp around the land and then go, who the fuck are you?
Don't mind us.
Get off my land, boy.
Get off my property. We will, as you guys traverse over there, we'll jump over to group human.